Welcome to Switch's Q&A series. We are here with Doug Glazer and Brook Reggio of Code Fellows. How are you guys doing today?
Good, very good, thank you.
Great. I just wanted to start off and ask, how did you start Code Fellows and what are your roles?
Sure. Yeah, Code Fellows started about 2 years ago now when we saw the need for not just more developers in the Seattle tech companies, but developers who really had well-rounded skills, who were really the kind of quality people that people wanted to hire. So we took a curriculum that I had developed with co-founder Ivan and converted it into a bootcamp format with the hypothesis that we could take people through a really intensive experience, short, compressed time frame, but just a whole lot of work, and get them up to professional grade skills and really be job ready. And that first cohort worked great. We had people landing jobs before we were even done running that class, and we have just been able to expand on that model ever since. So I'm an instructor with Code Fellows and have been here since the beginning.
And I joined the company only about 4 months ago. I head up our marketing efforts. So it's my job to make sure that we have students filling our classes, instructors teaching those classes, partners to help place those students, and our overall brand management, et cetera, et cetera. So in other words, you have to take everything I say with a grain of salt because I'm the marketing guy.
Okay, well, Brooke, since you were here from the start, can you tell me some of the, obstacles and successes that Code Fellows has experienced since the first cohort?
Definitely, yeah. Right away, that it was really tough just to keep our curriculum up to date. So much changes so fast in the tech world that what we say now, we've never taught the same class twice. We learned that we needed to continually rework our curriculum to keep things up to speed. For example, when Apple announced moments to just completely throw out all the work we'd done on our Objective-C curriculum and immediately start redeveloping a Swift curriculum. That was confirmed by our partners who we stay in touch with. So we're always trying to hear from our partner companies exactly what it is they need, what they're looking for in their hiring, and we're backwards from there, and we keep our curriculum right up to speed with what is currently requested in the job market. Now, a lot of the other challenges we face are similar to what any young company might face: establishing the right partnerships and figuring out growth strategies, but mostly just staying relevant and making sure that what we're teaching is really what's going to be effective for helping our students manage the career change that they want to have happen in their lives.
That's great. How often do you go to potential employers and ask, like, what are you guys using? What languages is most relevant?
So we have a business development team that's in the field constantly, always bringing feedback back to the instructors. The instructors, Brook and Ivan, and the entire team are very well plugged into the local community. We spend a lot of time at meetups and having coffee with people and just staying as current as possible. So it's an ongoing process.
Very good.
Yeah, as an instructor, I do just get in a few calls with our partner companies every time before I run a course to ask them exactly what it is they're looking for, what the current needs are. So we just try to keep that dialogue really open, and we even have partners who will come in and talk to our classes as they're running and just lay out exactly what it is that they want to hire for.
That's really great. I've taken a computer science class in college, and everything that I learned is not really relevant. The old CSS, HTML. So what do you think, Code Fellows, like, how is it unique from other boot camps? I know there are a few in Seattle.
Yeah, I'll start, and Brooke will correct me along the way. I think one things that really those from other coding schools is our what I would call leveling up skills. So, as Brooke said, we started with this notion that there are a lot of developers out there, but not a lot of qualified, job-ready developers. And so, we asked the question of what is that last mile that we can realistically accomplish in one of our accelerator courses to get someone truly job ready. And so we have this focus on, I think, in our 8-week accelerator classes on experienced devs and helping move them along in their careers. Since starting those initial accelerators, we've also built out our curriculum. So we do offer beginner classes, intro courses, both on a part-time and a full-time basis that will take beginning students all the way through their journey. So I think we have a fairly full curriculum and one that's well-grounded in what's realistically accomplished in a format like this.
Yeah, and from the instructor perspective, I'd say that our classes are pretty different from traditional style classes. We don't spend 8 hours a day doing slides and lectures, and just having someone tell you the information you need to know. We really work with the learn by doing style. So most of our class time is discussion around what the previous day's assignments were and talking through obstacles that students hit, hearing different possible solutions that different groups of students found, and essentially just understanding the material by a really hands-on kind of practical approach rather than just kind of an information dump, so to speak. And another thing that one of the challenges, like you said, one of the challenges we faced early on was that we realized that it's really hard for people to get a job, even if they do have the technical skills. So another thing that we've done that I think really separates Code Fellows from some of the other camps out there is that we have an entire, what we call Get a Job curriculum as a track that runs within our accelerators. So we do regular training with students on what exactly it takes to get a job, how to handle negotiations, how to present yourself well, and kind of all of those pieces that are needed beyond just the technical side to create someone who's really well-rounded and really ready to hit the job hard.
And I'd say, just building on that, the last and perhaps most significant point of difference is that we do have our job offer guarantee, which says if you don't get a job offer within 9 months of successful graduation from one of our development accelerators, we will refund your tuition entirely. And so, you know, we haven't given a lot of refunds. We gave a few early on when I think there was still a lot of ambiguity around how to best prepare students for the job search itself. But having the guarantee makes sure that we're all aligned and working to the same goal. We have a real stake in ensuring that students get a job, and you know, it gives them a measure of comfort when they enroll and make a significant commitment to us that we're going to do the right thing for them.
And we are just so committed to seeing people land in great careers. Like, you know, we want people to find a job they love, and so a lot of times people will ask us, like, which track do I follow, which course should I take, and we just try to help them discern what their passions are, figure out what it's going to be that's going to put them on a trajectory, put them on a career that really gives them what they want out of life.
Gotcha. That is wonderful. I wish my college had that guarantee. I think that's the difference between college and boot camps, that some can guarantee results, and that's excellent. I guess, like, what about the individuals who aren't looking to get a job but start a startup? Is Code Fellows a place for that? I've noticed some boot camps have an entrepreneur route and then a job route. Can you speak on that?
Yeah, I'll start and just say that to date we've been explicitly focused on software development and technology stacks that we work on. So we don't have an entrepreneurship track per se, or general management or anything like that. But I would say that a lot of the folks who pass through here have that entrepreneur spirit, that entrepreneurial drive, and they have plenty of ideas, and a lot of them look to get jobs at startups or at smaller companies, or to partner with an entrepreneur as a technical co-founder. So we're very well connected in that space here in Seattle. One of our founders, Andy Sack, was the managing director at Techstars here in Seattle for 5 years. And it's definitely in the DNA of the company.
Mm-hmm. And we certainly have had some of our graduates go on to start their own companies and get their own initiatives off the ground, as well as working with people who are project managers or product managers who just want to know how to understand the development side of a company a little bit better. they come to us to get just more well-rounded skills so that they can be more efficient within their own startup or wherever it is they're working on.
That's great. Yeah, there are a lot of self-starters out there. Brooke, as an instructor, can you tell me a favorite teaching moment or project that you've seen happen at Code Fellows?
Sure, yeah. In our 8-week accelerators, we have 2 different project weeks. So week 4 and then again week 8, students get together on teams and work together in as much of kind of a simulation of a professional environment as we can create. And I have always loved seeing what they're able to produce in such a short time frame. People come in, maybe never even having quite worked on a team environment like that before. But now all of a sudden they're having to deal with Git conflicts and interpersonal issues just in their communication, in addition to having to make sure they're executing on the code and applying everything that they've been learning. So it's always impressive to see what they come up with, though. One of my recent classes, a team of 2 students created a beautiful invoicing system that would let you, just with a few clicks, be able to send an email to someone with a link that they can click to pay an invoice. Which is essentially a feature that Square rolled out recently for Square Reader customers. But they built the whole thing in a week, and with a really nice user experience behind it too. So it's been awesome to see what they can do when they work together. Really, they're just achieving things that they never had thought possible, and we really love that.
That's great. Yeah, I maybe I can get a link from you later to maybe show it off if it's online somewhere.
Definitely, yeah. And a number of our students in our iOS track build out games and a bunch of other useful apps. So we have quite a few, possibly into the dozens of apps in the App Store now that our students have built in their project week, just in the 1-week time period within the Dev Accelerator. We'll definitely get you a few of those things. Some of my favorite games on my phone that I play the most were created by graduates.
Very cool. So Doug, I know you mentioned that there were a few refunds early in the first cohort because there was some ambiguity about preparing for Code Fellows. What are some tips for potential students who want to enroll?
For students who want to enroll, this is probably a better question for Brook. I'll let him speak to how to actually prepare, but what I'd say we hear the most often around here is that people who are truly passionate about the work are going to be the most successful. Our programs are not easy. They're demanding. They're demanding of your time. They're demanding of your psychic energy and your capacity to work hard. So this needs to be, if you're going to come here, it needs to be a place that you really want to be, that you need to love what you're doing, and really want to work hard at it. In terms of the actual preparation?
Yeah, what I always tell folks is that they should just do as much kind of independent study as possible. Go as far as they can with online tutorials and things like that. We find that those have a limit, tutorial. What's wrong with my code? What's wrong with what's actually running on my computer? Or oftentimes, if the whole tutorial is in the browser and you're not actually having something running on your computer. That's where we can pick up and carry people even farther forward is with our hands-on experience, making sure their laptop is set up just like a professional developers would be, and taking them even farther from what the step-by-step online things go. Those are great. People can learn a ton from those, and that's what we recommend. Get as much as you can out of those online tutorials and those resources available for independent study, and then come to us, and we'll just accelerate that learning and take you further.
All right. Well, this is a minute detail. Like, would you recommend people having a PC or Mac before they attend Code Fellows?
We recommend that people work with a Unix-based operating system because that's what we see in the professional developer world, at least here in Seattle. Stacks like .NET obviously will be on top of the Microsoft stack, but for what we teach in the open source world, most folks are using Linux or Mac OS X, and so that's our recommendation, is that people will come in with one of those operating systems and at least 8 gigs of RAM on their machines. So a modern computer really makes a big difference for the kind of work we do.
Nice. This is a question for both of you guys. Where do you see co-fellows going from 5 years from now? What are your dreams and plans for the future curriculum or the space or anything in the future?
I'll start and just say that I think the ambition that Code Fellows has is less specific to how many students we're going to have or how big our company is going to be, and more about the quality of the education that we're going to continue to provide, our revise in our approach, and just focus on quality education. So, in terms of our short-term business plans, we launched in Portland in the fall, and we're building out our courses for the first quarter of 2015. And we have a very full calendar here in Seattle at the beginning of next year. Beyond that, we've been purposefully non-committal while we consider all sorts of great options that we've both come up with ourselves and that have come to us. So in terms of where the company is going exactly, I don't know, but I think that education will clearly be the most important focus wherever that is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think, like we said, just continuing to iterate on what we have to continue to improve quality is really definitely our goal. But even the name Code Fellows we selected because it has a kind of an aura of being a professional society as well, and that's a lot of our vision, is that our graduates are not just thrown out there into the corporate world and left alone, but rather they stay connected to Code Fellows as an organization, as members of this professional society. And we really want to see that develop and grow as we continue to graduate more people, and as our graduates get great jobs and come back to mentor our current students, and just stay connected not only within Seattle, but across other geographies as well as we start building out.
By the end of the year, we'll have about 400 graduates of our development accelerators,
Wow.
which is really a pretty big number that we're obviously thrilled with. And so I think, to go back to your refund question, I think we've issued 9 refunds over the course of the 2 years. So, a 2% refund rate is not terrible, especially since most of them were quite a while ago. And we feel just great about the engagement we see from our alums. We don't yet have a formal alumni program, although that is something we're working on for next year. But we've seen alumni who are willing to TA for us down in Portland and make the 160-mile drive twice a week.
Oh my God.
We have a whole group of alums who are joining us tomorrow for an hour of code program that we're producing in partnership with Seattle's Museum of History and Industry. And they just really are proud of what they've accomplished here and the friendships they've made here. And like Brooke said, want to stay engaged.
Neat. 400 students. That's amazing. I mean, think of all of the software they will develop, and in a way, Code Fellows played a part in it. That's great. I guess, where do you think the future of education is going? Do you think boot camp education will take up more of the education world?
Yeah, that's an interesting question, and it's hard to predict the future beyond what we can actually create, and that's our goal, is just to create a really great educational experience for people that uses the intensive model, that uses the best practices, and we're just in this really interesting time frame where the technology world, the world of writing applications, of software development, is a type of skill that you can pick up with some really practical hands-on experience. And it's something that we can fit in an intensive experience. So we are just so honored to be a part of this movement that's happening to make this work. And we just hope it is something that continues. Now, I don't think that by any means we're going to be replacing colleges or anything like that. We find that people who come to us with or without college degrees really do well and can excel. That's not necessarily what it's about. But we do think that we offer a really practical kind of hands-on complement to what you might get in a CS degree, where things are a little bit more theoretical or possibly not quite as up-to-date with what's going on in the industry.
I was just going to add that Yeah, there definitely is a movement, and this seems to be a moment where there is a lot of discussion over the future of education, and we're one small part of that. And by no means are boot camps going to take the place of a traditional liberal arts or BS degree. But there's a lot of conversation around the traditional 4-year residential education model. And I think it's just an interesting time to be a part of something like this and a participant, even in our relatively small way.
Nice. Very good. My last question, what is the job market like in Seattle? What is the tech scene in Seattle like?
The tech scene's awesome. I love it. There's so many great folks, so many exciting technologies that are happening. Seattle is just booming. I think Silicon Valley got filled up, and so we're kind of experiencing some of the overflow. We have most of the major companies in tech are opening offices here. Apple, Twitter, Facebook, Amazon, of course, is all around us in these buildings here. Microsoft and more are just here and hungry and looking for developers. So it's a great time to be in tech in Seattle specifically.
In terms of specific numbers, a quick search, an up-to-date search of software development openings in the Seattle area returns 25,000 openings. And we typically use a rule of thumb of something like 3 to 5 to 1 of openings to actual jobs. We know from personal experience that hiring managers who can't fill one job aren't even bothering to post 3 or 4 others that they'd like to post. So there is no shortage of demand for the kind of developers that are coming out of Code Fellows, and I think that there is just tremendous opportunity here in Seattle and really all over.
And it's so exciting to see too. I graduated a class from the last development accelerator that I taught about 3 weeks ago, and yesterday I heard from 3 of my graduates who landed jobs just yesterday. So they did the job search right away, and things came together for them really quickly. So it's just so exciting to see. That's what we're all about. That's why we do what we do, just to put them on the track and get them to connect with careers they love.
Great. Well, I am all out of questions. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate taking your time to do this.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Appreciate your time too.
Thank you for having us.